in the third unit, so far we completed the RC oscillators. Under RC oscillators, we already, we were discussing RC oscillators. Under the RC oscillators, we have two categories. What is the first category that we discussed? Anybody can answer? Under RC oscillator. We already completed now. RC phase shift oscillator. Okay. And the second oscillator under RC oscillator is Wien bridge oscillator. Okay. Can anybody tell me why it is called RC oscillator? Why it is under the category of RC oscillator?
Resistance and capacitors are.
Yes. Okay. The feedback. See, LC oscillator means feedback network has L and C components. Simple. Okay. RC oscillator means feedback network has resistors and capacitors. Okay. So very easy, right? So whenever you are studying, study with open eyes, open mind, then it will be very easy. Okay, RC oscillator. Why this is RC oscillator? Because you have resistors and capacitors. Okay, this is the feedback. This is the feedback. Usually, what an oscillator consists of? It consists of the amplifier block and the feedback network. Okay, right? This is the amplifier block. This is the feedback network. Okay. Now, see, it is like this. Whether you connect A to B or you connect B to A, ultimately both are connected, isn't it? Okay. So, if you see some textbooks, what they do is they draw the feedback network below the amplifier stage. Okay, right? Some cases they draw here, but it is the connection that whether you draw here, okay, or whether you draw here, the connection, for example, the same block you can pull here, this connection coming here, okay, and the connection to coming from here to here. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is, don't be afraid by looking at the position of the feedback network. So far, in all our circuits, we had amplifier block, feedback network. Okay, instead of drawing here, they're drawing here, right? And this is common. Most of the textbooks are following this notation: amplifier block, okay, feedback network, one and the same. Okay, one. See, you have a block, another block. Both the blocks are connected. Whether you put these two blocks, one here, or you pull this block, okay, as long as the connections are not changing, okay, as long as the connections are not changing, okay, the functionality is not affected. Okay, right? So it is the same functionality. Amplifier block, feedback network. Okay. Then in LC oscillator, okay, Hartley oscillator, RC phase shift oscillator, which we discussed earlier, what was the phase shift provided by the feedback network? Anybody answer, please? In LC oscillators, okay, it could be Hartley or Colpitts. What was the phase shift provided by the feedback network? Easy question. Please answer.
Sir, is it 0 degrees or 360?
That is, see, I am not asking the entire oscillator. Okay. Amplifier, see, in Hartley, in the case of Hartley, the amplifier block plus feedback block together gave, okay, 180 plus 183. So feedback alone, how much it gave? The feedback network alone, I am not asking together. Okay. The feedback network alone. Okay, anyway, listen.
180.
Very good, 180. Okay. In Hartley, Colpitts, RC phase shift oscillators, the feedback network provides 180-degree phase shift. However, in Wien-Bridge oscillator, okay, right? In Wien-Bridge oscillator, this feedback network provides 0 or, okay, 360 degrees at 2n by 360, okay, or 360 into 2, same, 360 into 3, again it is same, okay, 0 degrees, 360 degrees, 720 degrees, all are equivalent to 0 because again you come back to the same point, okay, in the circular position. Okay, anyway, so generally the other amplifiers, the feedback network provides 180-degree phase shift, okay. However, in your Wien-Bridge oscillator, okay, your Wien-Bridge oscillator, the feedback network, which is this one, okay, is providing 0 or 360 degrees. Okay. So how this works? It is like this. Now, what is the impedance offered by a capacitor? 1 by j omega c, isn't it? Okay. The impedance offered by capacitor is 1 by j omega c. Okay. Right. So, is it omega is 2 pi f? So just tell me one thing. The value of the impedance of capacitor, is it directly proportional to frequency or inversely proportional to frequency? Yes? Directly proportional?
Inversely proportional.
Very good. Inversely proportional. Okay? It is inversely proportional. So, the point is this. Okay? Now, whenever there is, whenever we change frequency, okay? Whenever the frequency changes, this impedance changes, okay, and this impedance also changes, okay, right? Now let us consider the case when we are increasing the frequency, okay. When we are increasing the frequency, what happens? The impedance here reduces because just now we discussed inversely proportional, okay. So the impedance here reduces, okay. Of course, the impedance here reduces, right? Now, what happens because of that is, see here you have a parallel connection, okay? Here you have a parallel connection, and I told you in parallel connection, right? If one impedance reduces, see take any two resistors in parallel. Use the formula R1 R2 by R1 plus R2, okay? The equivalent will be lower than the least resistance. For example, 10 kilo ohm, 1 kilo ohm. If you take parallel combination, the result will be less than 1 kilo ohm. Okay, 100 kilo ohm, 10 kilo ohm. Use R1, R2 by R1 plus R2. Definitely the result will be lower than the least resistance. 100 kilo ohm, 10 kilo ohm. The least resistance is 10 kilo ohm. Okay. So R1, R2 by R1 plus R2 if we use, definitely the result is less than the least, okay, less than the least resistance. The same thing valid for impedance, okay. So what happens here is, when you increase frequency, okay, this one reduces together, okay, C1 reduces means together the impedance reduces, but the impedance reduction here is much significant, okay, right? And vice versa, when we reduce the, okay, when we increase frequency, both this impedance reduces, but the reduction in the equivalent impedance here is significant, okay. Likewise, when, okay, when we reduce the frequency, this one increases, okay, and also this one increases. Again, this is limited by this particular resistance, okay. So this is one okay, discussion regarding this network. Next, another discussion is, okay, see, XC, the impedance, okay, the impedance offered by the capacitor is 1 by j omega C1, okay, for this, right? So 1 by j omega C1. Now, for very low frequencies means put omega 0. What will be the impedance offered by this capacitor? Yes. For very low frequencies means nearly 0. Okay. nearly 0, 1 by j omega c. Okay, isn't it? I hope all of you know this. The impedance offered by capacitor 1 by j omega c, or 1 by j into 2 pi fc. Okay, 2 pi f is omega. So 1 by j omega c1. If f is 0, what will the impedance be?
Infinity.
Very good, correct. So for 0 or low frequencies, this capacitor acts as infinite impedance. Infinite impedance means open circuit or no connection. Okay. So what happens here is, for very low frequencies, the signal will not come. Okay. See what we are doing here. The output we are connecting here. Okay. And the input to the amplifier we are taking from here. Okay. From this point. So the signal will not reach here. Means for very low frequencies, the signal will not reach here. Now let us take very high frequencies. Okay. Very high frequencies. So for very high frequencies, okay, take F infinity. What will be this capacitor? It will act as same again 1
Short
by
circuit.
it will act as short circuit. Okay. So this is acting as short circuit, right? This is acting as short circuit. This one will also act as short circuit. Now when this is short circuited, no problem. Our resistance is already there. When we short circuit this one, this point is okay. This point will be connected to ground, right? So if this point is connected to ground, okay, if this point is connected to ground, the feedback signal will become 0. Okay, from here you are taking the feedback signal. So the feedback signal will reduce to 0. So any of the case, for very low frequency, open circuit, signal will not reach here, feedback becomes 0. Okay. Again for very high frequencies, okay, short circuit, okay, and then what happens? Because this is short circuit, okay, this point connected to ground, again the feedback signal becomes 0. Okay, right? So here what happens is, these two are frequency dependent branches. Okay, among the 4 branches, these 2 branches are frequency dependent. Okay, right? And what happens here is, the impedance changes with frequency. Okay, right? The impedance changes with frequency. So as you gradually increase the frequency, the response will be like this. Okay. For very low frequency, feedback signal 0. For very high frequency, the feedback signal 0. In between, it will increase and decrease. Okay, right? So that will be the, if you vary frequency, okay, the response of this network will be like that. Okay, right? So now what happens here is, okay, what happens here is, if we consider the balanced bridge case, okay, right? If we consider the balanced bridge case, that is this impedance divided by this impedance is equal to this impedance divided by this impedance, okay. Then what happens? Here the impedance is 1 by j 2 pi fc1, okay. Then here 1 by j 2 pi fc2. Okay, these are the impedances, right? And if you solve that, you will get at what frequency this will the bridge will be balanced. Okay, at what frequency the bridge will be balanced, right? Okay, so we have discussed about this network, right? When the bridge is balanced, what happens? Okay, it provides 0-degree phase. Okay, when a bridge is balanced, it provides 0-degree phase shift. And when the feedback network provides 0 degrees phase shift, okay, to satisfy the Bar-Heissens criteria, okay, or to satisfy the condition for oscillations, what should be the phase shift provided by this amplifier state? Anybody answer? I've told you this network provides 0 degree phase shift. Okay, right?
360.
The amplifier block, very good, correct answer. This provides 0. Okay. Transistor amplifier minimum it provides 180. A single stage transistor amplifier minimum it provides 180 degrees phase. Okay. So 0 is not possible, right? So what people usually do is one amplifier stage provides, okay, 180 degree phase shift. They use two transistor amplifier stages. Okay, usually people use two transistor amplifier stages so that each amplifier stage provides 180 degrees, 180 degrees. Okay, so 0 degrees plus 180 plus 180 will give 360, and the condition, the phase shift around the closed loop is 360 degrees satisfied. Okay, right? So I will quickly show you the circuit. Then later on we will analyze. So the amplifier circuit, okay, the amplifier circuit will be like this. This one, okay. So here, this is the same Wheatstone bridge. RC, RC, then a resistor, then another resistor. Okay, right? Usually the feedback signal here, okay, what we are doing, the feedback signal, we are connecting to the transistor, okay. Other end, we are connecting it. One end, we are connecting it to the base, the junction, okay, the other junction in the bridge, we are connecting to emitter, right? Anyway, in simple words, this is your feedback network, okay. One stage of amplifier provides 180 degree phase shift. Another stage of amplifier provides another 180 degree phase shift. Okay, 0 degrees phase shift plus 180 degree phase shift plus 180 degree phase shift. Okay, I hope this point we discussed many times. The transistor amplifier stage provides 180 degrees. Okay, so this is not new. 180 simple. Okay, common sense mathematics says if this provides 180, this also provides 180. Okay, so 180 plus 180, 360 over, right? Okay, and I've already told you the feedback network provides 0 degree phase. Okay, so 0 plus 180 degrees phase shift plus 180 degree phase shift, okay, gives the 360 degree phase shift, right? So how will you explain this feedback network? Whatever I have discussed, that you will explain. Okay, then this is again the amplifier stage, the amplifier stage. Okay, right? So you know how to explain the amplifier stages, right? These are the biasing resistors, okay, bypass capacitor, same as Hartley Colpitts, how we will explain, similarly will explain. Okay, right? So that will be the explanation for your circuit. Now let us go to the mathematical analysis. Okay, so here an important observation that you have to make, okay, the important observation that you have to make here is the, okay, in any, okay, in any oscillator the usual condition is this, okay, that is the output of the amplifier, okay, acts, this is feedback network, this is the amplifier block. Here we have two stages, don't forget, two stages of amplifier compulsory for Wien bridge, okay. So remember, inside this there are two stages of transistor amplifiers which I have just shown. Okay, so here what happens is, okay, what happens, okay, here is you have this amplifier. Please note that the output of the amplifier acts as input to the feedback network. In any oscillator, this is the condition, right? You are not giving any external input. The output of the amplifier acts as the input to the feedback network. So what is the input to the feedback network? Here, okay. Next, the output of the feedback network. See, the feedback network is connected to the amplifier, okay. So the output of the feedback network, isn't it? See, amplifier, from where the signals are coming to the amplifier block? From the feedback network, isn't it? So the two important points again you can write here is, okay, the output of the amplifier block acts as input to the feedback network. The output of the feedback network acts as input to the amplifier. Okay, right? So output of this block, input here, output of this block, input here, and they are in a loop. Okay, why this explanation is important? It is important for the mathematical analysis, okay, which we'll be discussing now. So output of amplifier, I will say input to the feedback network. So it comes here, right? Now let us consider this branch. Feedback signal is connected from here, okay, right? So if you consider this branch from this point to ground, and we are considering only the feedback network, okay. So the input to the feedback network is given at this point, and the output of this feedback network is taken from this point, okay. So I can call this V in, I can call this VF, feedback signal, okay. So V in R1 C1, VF here C2 R2. Now we will redraw this network. V in R1 C1, VF C2 R2, okay. So V in here R1 C1, okay. VF here R2 C2, right? So what we are doing, we are rearranging this, okay. And now we can clearly see that the input we are taking here, okay. Now this input in terms of amplifier block, what will that be? The amplifier block output is acting as input to the feedback network, okay. So either this point you can call it as, for mathematical analysis, you can call it as input of feedback network like this, or you can say output of amplifier block, okay. Both are same. Output of amplifier is connected as input to the feedback, means the output of amplifier is equal to the input of feedback network, okay, right. Anyway, so we are taking the first notation, we are considering the feedback network. The input is to this part alone we are analyzing, okay. For this part alone, the input is here, the output we are taking from here, okay. So V in R1 C1, VF, okay, right. The output of feedback network we are taking, where usually we call it as VF, isn't it? Okay. So VF C2 R. V in R1 C1, VF C2 R. VF between, okay, this junction, this branch junction VF, okay. So VF we are taking junction between this branch and this branch, and I told you V in at the top. We are representing like this. Now very easy, okay. So this is like together some impedance, let us call it Z1. This is like together some impedance, let us call it Z2, okay. Let us call it Z2, right. Now here what happens, Z1 is series combination of R1 and C1, okay. So what is series combination? Simply add the impedances. R1 plus 1 by j omega C1. Okay. So R1 plus 1 by j omega C1. Right. Next, what we are doing? Simple mass arrangement. We are doing common denominator j omega C1. So common denominator. When you are taking common denominator, you know you have to multiply this one with this one. Okay. So R1 j omega C1 plus 1 will be R1 j omega C1 plus 1. Okay. So that is Z1. Now likewise Z2. Z2 means R2 in parallel with 1 by j omega C2. Okay. So R2 in parallel with 1 by j omega C2. What is the parallel formula? This impedance into this impedance divided by sum of the two impedances. Okay, very famous formula. So R2 into 1 by j omega C2 by R2 plus 1 by j omega C2. Okay. This into this by this plus this. Product by sum. Okay. So product of these two by sum of these two. Okay, very basic, very simple, right? Okay. Two impedances in parallel, Z1, Z2 by Z1, Z2. Now, now, again, this is not in proper form. Okay, fraction. To bring in proper form, multiply numerator, denominator, both with j omega C2, right? So, when you multiply this one with j omega C2, R2 will be. When you multiply this one with j omega C2, okay, what will remain? J omega C2 into R2 plus 1. Okay. J omega C2 into R2 plus 1. So what we are doing, Z1, Z2, right? We are taking as the parallel combination of this one, Z2, series combination of this Z1, and simple, okay, resistors in series, okay, or impedances in series, impedances in parallel, formula we are using, and we are simplifying. Okay, next, to reduce the size of variable, okay, to make it somewhat easy, usually this also we did in the previous when we discussed RC oscillator, we did this. Okay, so j omega we can write it as S, right? Laplace domain we represent as S. Okay, in the circuit domain we represent j omega, right? This also we discussed. So simply in place of j omega we are writing S. Okay, so what is Z1? 1 plus S into R1 C1 by S into C1. 1 plus S into R1 C1 by S into C1, replacing j omega by S. Likewise, Z2 replacing j omega by S, it will be R2 by 1 plus S R2 C2. R2 by 1 plus S R2 C2. Okay, now our idea is to find the feedback, okay, network, feedback voltage, okay, feedback voltage. So what will be the feedback voltage? Now let us replace like this, V in Z1, Z2, Vf. Because we call this as Z1, Z2, now we can replace this one with Z1, this one with Z2. Okay, so V in Z1, Z2, in between Z1 and Z2, Vf. That is what we will do next. Okay, V in Z1, Z2, in between Z1 and Z2, we are calling the feedback signal. Okay, we are calling the feedback signal as Vf. Okay, so now these both are in series, means same current flows. Okay, no other terminal is connected, no other components are connected here. Means Z1, Z2 are in series. Current flowing through them is same. Let us call the current as I. Okay. So here, what will be the expression for Vf? Ohm's law. Okay. Vf will be simply I into Z. Right. Vf will be I into Z. Ohm's law. So Vf is I into Z. Now current I. current I, you can represent it as total voltage divided by total impedance. Okay. So I, we can write it as V in by Z1 plus Z. I, we can write it as V in by Z1 plus Z. Okay. So I we got I, and again VF we got Ohm's law I to Z2. So VF will be simply Vn Z2 by Z1 plus Z2. Okay. VF will be Vn Z2 by Z1 plus Z2. Okay. So this is nothing but the derivation of the voltage divider formula. Okay. Voltage divider formula, what is the formula? VF is Vn into Z2 by Z1 plus Z. Okay. VF is Vn into Z2 by Z1 plus Z2. Total voltage into the same resistor where we are finding the voltage divided by sum of the two. So Vn into Z2 by Z1 plus Z2. Same thing valid for impedance also. Okay. So now what is beta? Beta, okay, is feedback signal divided by output of amplifier. Okay, isn't it? So far, what is beta we are taking? We are taking VF by V naught. We are taking VF by V naught. Okay, that is the feedback. But here V naught, amplifier output, is the input to the feedback network. Okay, means this is the output of the amplifier. Okay, means beta is feedback signal divided by output of amplifier. Here we can take VF by output of amplifier. We are calling it as input to the feedback network Vn. Okay, so beta we can take VF by Vn here for this case. Okay, or what you can do is, okay, another method what you can do is, okay, you can say that, okay, this is V naught. So this is V naught. Okay. So this one, instead of calling V in, input of feedback, is output of amplifier. In terms of output of amplifier, you can call it is V naught. Okay. Then you can call beta as VF by V naught, like how we did for feedback amplifiers. And same again. This will be V naught. Okay. Because input to feedback is output of amplifier. Right? Any representation is accepted. Logically, it should be correct. Anyway, you are getting the same formula. Okay. Which is, if you divide this VF by Vn, okay, Z2 by Z1 plus Z2. So, input of feedback network Vn or output of amplifier V naught. If you take output of amplifier V naught, VF by V naught. Okay. But formula will be same. Variable changes, doesn't matter. Okay. So beta will be Z2 by Z1 plus Z2. Okay. Now let us substitute Z2. Okay. What was Z2? R2 by 1 plus S into R2C2. R2 by 1 plus S into R2C2. What was Z1? Z1. Okay. Z1 is 1 plus S R1 C1 by S C1. Z2 is R2 by 1 plus S R2 C2. Now simple, Z1, Z2 we are substituting. This is Z2, okay. This is Z1. This is Z2, okay, right? Then simplifying. How to simplify? See here, SC1 is there. 1 plus S R2 C2. 1 plus S R2 C2. So multiply both numerator and denominator with SC1 into 1 plus S R2 C2. Okay. multiply both numerator and denominator with this term and this term. Okay. So if you multiply this one with SC1 into 1 plus SR2C2, 1 plus SR2C2 will cancel, SC1 will remain. So R2 into SC1, R2 into SC1. So that is what will remain. Now, if you multiply this term with SC1 into 1 plus S into R2C2, SC1 will cancel. 1 plus SR1C1 into 1 plus SR2C2 will remain. Okay. 1 plus SR1C1 into 1 plus SR2C2. Okay. Next, if you multiply this term with SC1 into 1 plus SR2C2, then 1 plus SR2C2 will cancel. What will remain? R2 into SC1 will remain. R2 into SC1. Okay. Nothing we are doing. This is not in proper form. Simple school level mathematics we are using. We are bringing it into proper form. Okay. Next, we have brackets. Brackets. What we do in maths, you have brackets, you multiply. Is it? Okay. So multiplying this inside. So if you multiply 1 into 1, 1. Right? Next, 1 into SR2C2, SR2C2. Okay, so SR2C2. 1 into SR1C1, SR1C1, SR1C1. So SR1C2, SR1C1 is two terms, S terms, S we are taking out. Okay. So S into R1C1 plus R2C1. Then multiplying this one, S square R1 R2 C1 C2. S square R1 R2 C1 C2. This term we are taking as it is. Okay. Nothing we are doing, multiplying inside. Okay. You know, brackets multiplication. Okay. We are doing. And here two S terms, S we are taking out. Okay. Next. Here now what we can do is, okay, we are writing this in proper form. See, one S terms, one more S term is here. So again, you can take S common for this one and this one. So taking S common, R1C1 plus R2C2 plus R2C1. R1C1 plus R2C2 plus R2C1. Okay, all right. S square term as it is. So beta we got, remaining we will continue in the next class. Thank you. From beta we will continue.